Investors, hello! This is AI Crypto Insights, your home for a few minutes of AI-powered insight into the market. And just a quick reminder, this is for educational reference only, definitely not investment advice. Today, we're parsing a really big article from Cointelegraph, written by Brian Quarmby, and the title says it all. Vitalik Buterin claims ZK-EVMs and PeerDAS have solved Blockchain Trilemma. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to start by looking at one of the most fundamental, foundational challenges in all of crypto. This is a problem that has, for years, pretty much defined the limits of what a blockchain can do. For as long as blockchains have been around, every single project has run smack into this trade-off, right? How do you build a network that's totally secure, truly decentralized for everyone, and fast enough for the whole world to use all at the same time? Well, that question is really the heart of what's known as the Blockchain Trilemma. It's this long-held idea that you can have two of those things, say security and decentralization, but you always have to sacrifice the third one. And you know, Bitcoin is the perfect example of this. The network is an absolute fortress when it comes to security and decentralization. But that comes at a cost. The trade-off was scalability, which is exactly why its transaction speeds can feel so slow. For more than a decade, that was just the reality of building a blockchain. You had to pick your poison. But now, that entire idea, that long-standing compromise, is being challenged in a huge way. Because Ethereum's co-founder, Vitalik Buterin, just made a massive proclamation. He's not just talking theory. He's saying the trilemma is solved. And here's the kicker. Not on paper, but with live, running code. That is a game-changing claim. If he's right, it means Ethereum is becoming something fundamentally new, something way more powerful. So, of course, the big question is, how? How did they pull this off? The answer comes down to a 1-2 punch of two key technologies, PeerDAS and ZK-EVMs. You can think of them as a team. One's job is to massively boost the network's capacity for data, and the other's job is to make it way more efficient and secure at processing all that data. So first, let's talk about PeerDAS. Imagine upgrading a tiny country road into a giant multi-lane superhighway. That's what PeerDAS does for Ethereum's data. But here's the really cool part. This isn't some far-off dream. A core piece of it is already live on the mainnet today. Then you have the other half of the solution, ZK-EVMs. Now, these are super advanced virtual machines that use something that sounds like science fiction, zero-knowledge proofs. Basically, it's a super cool kind of crypto that lets you prove a transaction is valid without revealing all the details. It makes things incredibly fast and way more private. Now, these ZK-EVMs are already working pretty well, but the main goal for the next couple of years is just making them absolutely bulletproof. And that focus on safety leads us right to the timeline, because, you don't just flip a switch on something that's important overnight. This whole thing is a very careful, multi-year plan. By 2025, they expect to have PeerDAS fully integrated. That's the data highway. Then, starting in 2026, they'll slowly start rolling out ZK-EVMs, until eventually, by around 2027 to 2030, they become the main engine validating everything on the network. Taking it slow and steady like this is absolutely key. It lets them test everything at each stage to make sure the network stays totally secure as it grows. So, with all that said, what's the final insight from our AI analysis? Well, after parsing all of the data, the most crucial thing to understand is that this breakthrough didn't happen overnight. According to Vitalik, this is the result of 10 years, a full decade of focused, hard work. This wasn't a sudden fix. It's been a marathon. So here's the AI analyst verdicts. While the full vision is still years away, Ethereum is executing a concrete, multi-stage roadmap to solve the trilemma, moving from theory to live implementation. So what do you think? Is the trilemma really solved? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you in the next episode.